For today's topic is how to deal with cyberbullying and bad comments on your social media. Let me start with something painfully common. You post a photo or a video or a thought you finally had a courage to share. And then one comment lands differently. It's not even the worst one. It's not violent, it's not a threat, but it sticks. Maybe it says you're too old for this. Who do you think you are? This is embarrassing. Nobody asked. You look fake. Cringe. And suddenly your body reacts before your mind does. Your chest tightens, your stomach drops, and you reread it. And then you reread it again. And now, despite the likes, the supportive comments, the silence from people who mean well, that one voice has taken over the room in your head. If you ever thought, why am I letting this get to me? You're not weak, you're human. Cyberbullying isn't just about cruelty, it's about visibility without safety. And most of us were never taught how to emotionally survive that. Today, I want to talk about how to deal with cyberbullying and bad comments, not by becoming numb, arrogant, or aggressive, but by becoming grounded, strategic, and self protective in a world that profits from reaction. Why cyberbullying hurts more than we admit. Here's the first truth most people avoid. Online pain is real pain. Your brain doesn't distinguish in between being rejected in a room or being rejected in a comment section. Neuroscience back this up. Studies on social pain shows that rejection activates the same neural pathways as physical pain. The same areas light up. That's why bad comments feels like a punch. Even when they come from strangers you'll never meet. And social media makes it worse because the criticism is public, the timing is unpredictable, the audience is invisible, the replay is endless. In real life, a rude comment ends when the person walks away. Online, it lives forever, waiting to be reread at 2 a.m. This is not a personal failure, this is a design problem. Part 2, the myth that strong people don't care. One of the most common damaging lies we've absorbed in this idea. If you're confident, you shouldn't care what people say. That sounds empowering, but it's unrealistic and honestly cruel. Even the most confident people care. Celebrities care, therapists care, public speakers care, activists care. The difference is not what they feel less. The difference is that they've learned what to do with the feeling. Strength is not caring. Strength is responding wisely instead of impulsively. Understanding the psychology of online hate. Before we talk about solutions, we need to understand who is actually commenting. Because most bad comments fall into predictable categories. We have the first one, the projector. This person is unloading their own frustration. This person is unhappy, insecure, angry at life. Your post is just a convenient target. For example, someone is struggling financially mocks your success, or someone lonely criticizes your confidence. This is projection, not the truth. Number 2, attention seeker. Some people don't care if the attention is negative as long as it's attentive. They want reaction, they want a fight, they want visibility. Your emotional response is the reward. 3. The moral judge. This commenter believes they're right and you are wrong. They use shame, they use concern or fake advice. Condescension. This type hurts because it feels personal and moral. Number 4. The silent crowd effect. People say online they would never say that to your face. Why? Because of anonymity, distance, lack of consequence. This is not bravery, this is disinhibition. Understanding this does not excuse behavior, but it removes the illusion that every comment deserves equal emotional weight. Why ignoring isn't always the answer. You've probably heard just ignore it. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Because ignoring without processing often leads to suppressed anger, shame, self-doubt, overthinking. The goal isn't to ignore your feelings. The goal is to respond unintentionally. Here's a healthier framework. Pause, name, then choose. Pause. You don't reply immediately. Emotional replies are rarely empowering. Name. Ask yourself, does this hurt because it's cruel, or because it touched an old wound, or because I'm tired, vulnerable, or already overwhelmed? Choose. So now you decide, do you block, delete, ignore, respond calmly, report? Not reacting impulsively is power, but not silence. The emotional first aid you actually needed. Cyberbullying creates microtrauma. So you need emotional first aid, not motivational quotes. Step 1. Ground your body. Before your mind spirals, regulate your nervous system. Simple techniques like slow exhale, breathing, longer exhales from inhales, putting feet on the ground, cold water on wrist or face. This signals safety to your body. Step 2. Separate identity from exposure. Repeat this, not as affirmation but as truth. This is feedback on my visibility, not my worth. Being seen increases criticism. That's not failure, that's math. Step 3. Reality check. Ask, would I take advice from this person? Do they know my full story? Are they speaking from care or cruelty? If the answer is no, the comment doesn't get authority. Okay, so when the comment is actually about you, this is the uncomfortable part, but an honest one. Not all criticism is bullying. Some comments are poorly worded feedback. It could highlight blind spots, reflect audience mismatch. The skill is discernment, not defensiveness. Example. A speaker once received criticism that their tone felt condescending. At first, it hurt, but after reviewing multiple comments saying the same thing, they adjusted, not because they were wrong, but because they cared about connection. The rule: patterns matter. Single insults usually don't. Boundaries are not weakness. One of the most powerful acts online is curation. You are not obligated to read every comment. You are not obligated to keep your DMs open, allow access to your emotional space. You need to set up boundaries. Boundaries include filtering keywords, limiting comments, blocking without explanation, turning off notifications. This isn't avoidance, it's self respect. Part 8, responding without losing yourself. If you do choose to respond, keep these principles: calm over clever. Sarcasm escalates, calm disarms. Short over explanatory. You don't owe essays to strangers. Neutral over defensive. Defensiveness feed power to the comment. Example responses: I see this differently, but I appreciate respectful dialogue. Or you can say, this page may not be for you, and that's okay. Or you could say, I'm choosing to keep this space respectful. Then stop. Don't message and don't reply. Part 9, the long-term impact no one talks about. Unchecked cyberbullying leads to self-censorship, shrinking voice, over-polished authenticity, fear of expression. The tragedy isn't the comments, it's the silencing of people who had something meaningful to say. The internet doesn't need louder voices, it needs braver, grounded ones. Part 10, reclaiming your voice. Here's a powerful reframe. If you are being criticized, it means you are participating. Most bullies don't attack silence, they attack presence. Every meaningful creator, thinker, and leader faced backlash before they were validated, not because they were wrong, but because visibility challenges comfort. Lastly, you are allowed to take up space. You don't need thicker skin, you need better emotional tools. You don't need to disappear, you need clear boundaries. You don't need universal approval, you need self-trust. Bad comments are loud, but they're not wise. Cruelty is common, but courage is rarer. And if your voice shakes sometimes, that doesn't mean stop. It means what you're saying matters. Thank you for listening.